I love it's your favorite lady girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with an unpopular opinion video. This is Black History Edition. Yes, this is another unpopular opinion video. Now, I hope that you all are enjoying this type of content as much as I am creating it. This is different than a Black People Edition because that's just a general. I just wanted to kind of focus in on Black History Month. Before I get into it, y'all make sure y'all like this video and subscribe if you like this type of conversational style videos. Okay, I'm trying to get a feel for what are y'all into, what y'all like, what y'all don't like, so I can continue to grow here on this platform and we can continue to grow as a whole community. All right, boom. So let's just hop right into it. I feel like this, as far as Black history is concerned, I feel like there is an overall general sense of pride that has elevated within the Black community. As far as Black men, Black women, Black children, our relationships, I feel like there is a higher regard to Black people and our esteem. All in all, like, I know that we have our issues with the other things I talked about in my last video, but I feel like generally speaking, there's a sense of collective unity, collective understanding in terms of our Blackness, which I feel like in other years prior, we kind of lacked or we kind of missed. There are a few Black people who are doing things like letting their white friends call them good and doing a whole bunch of just weird STEM shit, which, you know, they need to be traded out anyway. As Dr. Umar say, 100 lashes. But I feel like, generally speaking, I feel like there's a rise of, or a sense of pride within our community. Right? I mean, at least that's on my For You page. I'm seeing a lot of Black women that's out here doing it. We supporting each other. We see things like the Black Girl Follow Train. You know, I've been on these internet streets for a minute, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. So much so that the white women were getting upset. Right? I feel like we are supporting each other more. I feel like we're having like tougher conversations. And I feel like we are staying on code more often than not. Now, granted, there is always room for improvement and there's always outliers, but I'm getting more of a feeling of us standing collectively. Do y'all agree with that? Drop a black heart in my comments if y'all into it. The next thing I want to talk about is the African American Black History Month assemblies in schools, y'all. I don't want to see y'all doing a whole bunch of African dances at the Black History Month. Like, I feel like as soon as we talk about February Black History Month, we want to go to roots, Kunta Kinte, and slavery or African stuff. Like, I feel like enough time has passed for us to celebrate things that are current to us today. You get what I'm saying? Instead of like trying to focus on African dance, like, let's talk about some of the TikTok dances that these girls are coming up with, the majorettes and the stands and all of this and all of that. Like, you know, obviously we already know where the roots are. We ain't got to do that. But I feel like there's enough history here on this land and this soil that we can kind of get into those things too. Although I do feel extra African-y, extra always. Well, I mean, actually that's who I am for real, y'all, like on and off camera. But I feel like, again, leaning into the first topic, I feel like there's a better, higher sense of pride in our Blackness outside of our African ancestry. And I want our high school kids to embrace that more, because no high school student want to talk about, hear about how their forefathers and great-grandfathers were slaves and sharecroppers. Although that's a part of history, don't get me wrong, and it's to be taught, and learned about all throughout the year, not just Black History Month. I just hate that we start our history with slavery. Like, can we fucking put it into that now? I want to talk about Black History Month, like how I felt the last couple of years ago, and I feel like there was a lot of social unrest that was happening. I feel like a lot of large companies, major companies and corporations use Black History Months to pump us out with coupon codes, Black Love, okay? Coupon code, Black families. I mean, outside of Target, which I'm sure they got their thing too, Target has, I feel like, and I could be wrong, y'all, I didn't do much research on this, Target has always kind of supported the smaller Black brands. We see Tabitha Brown in Target, and even before that, you know, we seen, you know, Honey Pot, although they done switched up and did everything that they did. I feel like other larger corporations saw Black History Month as this is what we're going to focus on our marketing for this month to get these niggas happy. And you know, we done been through a lot with, you know, George Floyd and everything like this, so we about to give them a coupon code. We about to this, that, and the third. We've seen people burning and selling their Nikes because they came out to support and this and the third. But this time around, like, I don't really see much of that, which lets me know that it was performative. And I don't like the capitalistic, like the capitalist perks that comes out of Black History Month, especially when we only see those companies come out when there's social unrest. And I feel like it dampens the overall mood as Black people as a whole on Black History Month and all in all together. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. Next thing I want to talk about is ATRs. ATR stands for African Traditional Religion. Now, I know I might lose a couple of y'all because I know y'all sanctified and holy, which, you know what I'm saying? I understand and I get and I dig, but I think that there is an uprise in, like, I don't want to say practice because I don't want to offend anybody, but let's just say interest in understanding, like, religion in terms of, like, our Black ways, in terms of our African ancestry. You know what I mean? Because regardless of what, we're still connected and we're still linked. I feel like, I'm not talking about the Imhotepers and things of that nature, but I feel like the trend of spirituality is phasing out, right? Oh, you know, sage and this, that, and the third. I feel like this whole mysticism phase is kind of like dwindling down. I feel like a lot of girls are reverting, you know, new age spirituality, and they're reverting back to Christianity or to Islam. Not necessarily Islam, but Christianity, let's just say. But I feel like the interest in African traditional religions, even if you just understand it, even if you just know what it is, like, I had no clue what Ifa was. I had no clue what, you know, what hoodoo was or whatever the case. Like, I was just completely blind to it up until most recently, you know what I mean, recent years. And I feel like there's an interest in learning what, like, African slaves brought to this country, how our ancestor has harnessed that and turned their struggles and triumphs into how they like to worship and praise, and how they were able to survive, because that's really what it was, and what they brought with them from, you know, the African countries that they were, you know, stolen from. And I do think that there needs to be a certain level of regard and appreciation for it. I'm not like, you know, this Christian saint where it's like, oh, no, because there are Christian white people who still understand we were Nordic, Slavic, Vikings, and we were, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to still have a sense of pride in the Orishas. We still need to have a sense of pride in all of these type of things, because that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And I feel like the girls who are out here, you know, providing spiritual services and guidances, you know, because naturally I feel like black, they don't say black girl magic for no reason. I'm just leave right there because I don't want to do too much, but yeah, need to, I feel like we need to stop teaching our kids to power to certain situations, because it's not sustainable as Black people as a collective. I am not talking specifically about the COPS, but in the everyday life, you know, I realize, like, you know, we will get out of the way in a grocery store, you know, to let old white down the road, you know, seeing us do those kind of things imprints on our children. And I think as mothers and parents and older sisters and siblings, we need to stand firm on, this is who we are, not code switching, not changing our language, not changing things of that nature to make it more to be consumed by white people within earshot. Now, I'm saying that from a perspective where I gotta go into the office now, say, you know, use discretion with what I'm saying now, girl. But I do think that we need to be more of an example of how to act in front of different races. I know that because I come from a background of academia, and then I was working in the social work industry or whatever, like, there was a sense of me that felt like mentally I was exhausted at the end of the day because I didn't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to do it, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to instill that in our children. And I think that if we show up more authentically, then they would be more accepting of, this is just who we are. And it's not that, you know, Jeray's a great person. She's just different. She's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to show up in a different way. Let's just normalize being who we are as what it is. Let's stop code switching, period. Let me know if you enjoyed this unpopular opinion part 2. Black History Month edition. Drop down and let me know what your unpopular opinion is about Black History Month. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.